Hello, third grade distance adventurers. We're going to try something new today. And this is not a writing that we've used in our school this year, but we're going to try it anyway. The word that starts this writing is dialogue. And we don't often use the word dialogue. We usually say talking. But let's look at the definition. I highlighted dialogue in yellow. Dialogue is the words spoken by characters in a story. The dialogue helps to tell what is happening in a funny, exciting, or scary way. Well, dialogue is pretty much why we read stories and listen to things, because we like to hear things that are funny, exciting, and scary. Now let's look at parts of a dialogue. I used 3 different colors to highlight them so I can make sure I can look back at them and refer to them. If you have a printed copy, you can highlight them too. Parts of a dialogue are, first, language. Language shows the personalities and feelings of the characters. So if a character is mad, their language will probably have some mad words. If a character is friendly and helpful, their language will probably have words that show that they are friendly and helpful. In the green highlighter, it says formal and informal words show characters' personalities. Well, an informal word is what you would say to a friend or a brother or sister. A formal type of speaking would be words that you would speak to Mrs. Matthews with, or if you were talking to a police officer or somebody else that maybe had a little authority. Now the last part is different types of sentences. That makes the dialogue sound interesting and natural. You all know the different types of sentences, and we always ask you to use a variety of sentences in your writing. Now I'm going to look at the rest of this piece of paper. Down here, I have a definition of different kinds of sentences. It's the same as up there, but it gives me a little bit more information. It says statements, questions, commands, exclamations. Here is language, and it mentions that they speak the way that shows their personality and their feelings. And lastly, the formal and informal words, and that can help show their personalities. So these 3 boxes are very much like the parts that I highlighted. So now I want to read the dialogue to you. And I did go ahead and use my highlighters again. Everything that Laura said, I highlighted in yellow. Everything Uncle Mark said, I highlighted in pink. And Mom is in green. Laura couldn't wait to meet the new friend Uncle Mark was bringing to dinner. Soon the doorbell rang. Laura ran to open the door. "What in the world is on your shoulder?" yelled Laura. If you look at that sentence, it says she yelled. Is she mad? Or is she excited and surprised? You're going to probably say excited and surprised. I know I would be if I saw a monkey. This, my dear, is Melvin, explained Uncle Mark. He's my monkey. Now, those sentences are simply statements. They don't have question marks or exclamation points because Mark is simply explaining what's going on. He's not excited. He's not mad. "Pleasure to meet ya," Laura said to Melvin. She leaned close to her uncle. "My mom is going to flip out, you know. I can't wait to see this." Do you see the exclamation point at the end of that? She's excited to show the monkey to her mom. But I want to show you a couple of other things. Do you see how she says pleasure to meet ya? Usually we don't say ya unless we know someone really well. My mom is gonna flip out, you know. She must know Melvin really well because she is using informal words. She's not treating him like he's anyone except a very good friend. Uncle Mark and Melvin followed Laura into the kitchen. "Hey, Mom," she said. "Look who's here." Her mom turned around and her mouth dropped open. "Well," she said politely, "now I know why you asked for banana cream pie for dessert." "I see that Mom is also making a statement. It says her mouth dropped open, but then it says she was speaking politely, so she must have gotten over her surprise. And her words reflect that she's not surprised anymore. All right, we're ready for day 2, Distance Adventurers. After you read the directions about the dialogue, you definitely want to keep that nearby so you can look back at it. But now we're going to work on the second page, and this is in the Common Core Writing Handbook. I put my name at the top of this one, so if you have a printed copy, go ahead and write on this. But if you don't have a printed copy, a piece of paper works fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sentence that they started me with, and that's the beginning of my sentence. And here is what I did. No one had expected what was about to happen when. Now, I have to make up my own idea. So I wrote, when a huge noise shook everyone awake and they jumped from their beds! Exclamation point. So I used an exclamatory sentence there, and it sounds exciting and a little bit confusing and worrisome. I think this might make a great story. The next sentence begins at first. So I'm going to make a story that tells a beginning and a middle, and then down here after that, that'll be an end. So here I go over to my writing paper, but if you have it printed, you can write on the printed copy. So I wrote, at first, Luna didn't know where the noise was coming from. I thought that might help me show the confusion that was going on at that moment. Now, I want you to finish the story. You can use my story, or you can use one of your own. You could write something that's happening at your house, or you can write something that's totally in your imagination. When we get down to this part, do you see the quotation marks and the question mark? I might say, then somebody pointed out the window and asked, wow, did you see, question mark? And you could just imagine what that person might have seen. Oh, then it said asked blank. Whoops, I mixed that up a little bit. And if you mix it up, it's okay. Just cross off what you don't like. This is your rough draft, and you're not going to have any problem with cross-offs or misspelled words or things that you want to insert. Don't forget, you can revise and edit. You can use little carrots to put in new words. You can cross things off and put better words in. I love to see descriptive adverbs and adjectives that suggest more information. When you get to the bottom, you'll have a little bit more of the dialogue. And then I want you just to ignore these today. So that's the end of day 2. All right, Distance Adventurers, we're back for day 3. Do you still have your writing? I hope you do. I have mine. Now, let's pretend that I filled all this in, or I filled all this in over here, because a lot of us probably just are using a plain piece of paper. So on day 3, I'm going to make sure that I've done my edits. Maybe I crossed off something and I wrote a different word there. I could definitely use my highlighters if I want to help me change things around. But I'm simply going to take this, which is my rough draft, and I'm going to do a brand new final draft and make it look really, really nice. If you would like to, you can skip lines, and if you would like to, you may illustrate it. I'm excited to hear about what you wrote. Good luck!